A sudden hole opened in Earth's ozone layer. An icy current at minus 180 degrees poured down through the opening. On the beach, a group of girls had no idea what danger was coming. They put on their swimsuits, ready to go into the ocean with their friends. But the moment they reached the shore, they saw something shocking. A massive wall of white mist was rolling in from the sea. Faced with this unbelievable scene, they calmly pulled out their phones, took photos, and posted them on social media. Soon, one girl's father saw the post and rushed to the beach. The freezing current was already dangerously close. Meteorologist Jack ran forward in a panic and told them they had to leave immediately, because once this cold current touched the human body, you would instantly freeze into a solid ice statue. But right after Jack said this, one of the girls suddenly ran toward the ocean. Her boyfriend was still out there surfing. Hearing her cry out, the boy tried to swim back, but it was already too late. The minus 140-degree cold current swallowed him in seconds. As the girl turned around to escape, she froze into an ice statue in the very next moment. Seeing the freezing current reach the shore, Jack grabbed his daughter and ran for their lives. They jumped into a pickup truck, and Jack slammed the gas pedal to the floor, speeding away from the incoming cold wave. Jack immediately contacted his media friend and told him his theory was correct. Just moments ago, 2 children had died in this freezing current, and now it had already reached the coast. The situation was extremely urgent. After hearing this, his friend called the police right away and announced the disaster to the entire country through the news. Sirens blared across the city. Students were evacuated immediately. In supermarkets, heaters and gas tanks were snapped up in a frantic rush. Not long after, the freezing wind reached the city. 100-meter skyscrapers were frozen in an instant. Even airplanes flying 10,000 meters in the air could not escape. They froze solid and crashed to the ground, shattering into pieces. Pedestrians who didn't make it in time were frozen to death where they stood. In just 3 seconds, the streets were filled with frozen bodies, turned into ice statues. Witnessing this terrifying scene, a bar owner poured herself a strong drink, turned on the music, and waited for death to arrive. When the freezing current rushed into the bar, she left the world with the music still playing. Meanwhile, Jack raced through the city with his daughter and finally made it back to the lab. But the cold front was right behind them. The glass doors froze instantly, and the entire research building was sealed in ice. Inside the lab, Jack detected that huge amounts of freezing air were still pouring in through the hole in the ozone layer, and the temperature was continuing to drop. If a solution couldn't be found, within 24 hours, Earth would turn into a frozen ice ball. Realizing how serious the situation was, Jack immediately called the president and explained the scale of the disaster. But the president told him not to worry too much. He claimed to already have a plan. The plan was to load chemical agents into balloons, send them into the sky, and then use fighter jets to blow them up. This way, the chemicals would stop the cold current from advancing. Jack strongly disagreed with the plan, but the president refused to believe him, because this plan came from other scientists. At the same time, London was also hit by the freezing current. Big Ben froze solid and stopped ticking completely. Soon, the entire city turned into a frozen wasteland. The cold wave then swept past the Golden Gate Bridge and surged toward the US mainland. But the Department of Defense followed the president's plan and deployed 300 balloons filled with chemicals into the air. Fighter jets took off from the aircraft carrier. Under the president's command, the pilots pressed the launch button. Missiles hit the balloons with perfect accuracy.